Hi everyone, I am Rajesh Kumar. I am having close to 16 plus years of experience in Devops, SRE and DevSecOps. I have worked with more than 12 software organizations around the globe. I would like to introduce you all a Devops School's flagship certification program in Devops, SRE and DevSecOps. This program will get started in the weekends, so get enrolled. Please contact us on the phone number given on the screen, and in fact you can email us on the contact@devopsschool.com. Okay, so how do we get started with every resources in one go? So I'll teach you one pattern actually, so you will not get stuck. The pattern is very simple. CRUD. Have you heard about this? CRUD. Okay. So in the microservices, this feature is very popular. This concept, and in fact, if you look at this API server, it's a microservices actually. So API server, you have hundreds of microservices. For us, it's 72, but internally also there are so many microservices. So how do we create a resources? These are the resources which I showed you. How do we create it? So you can do through these resources. You can do through command also and through YAML file also. Same thing, you can read that through command also and YAML file also. Update also you can do the same thing, and delete also you can do the same thing. So now, how do we create using command line? So I think you know by now. How do you know? So you see that here you have, if you see that create you have, edit you have, get you have, delete you have, you know, here you have apply, you have some commands, here apply you have, describe you have, describe, here it is. So using this command you can easily get it done. So beginner command, intermediate commands, deploy commands, cluster management for administration command, troubleshooting commands, and some advanced commands. So these are the things you have to learn. So how do we do that? So here kubectl create. Okay, this is the command. Here how do we do the create -f YAML file? You can create. Okay, so this is the way you can create. This is the way you can, using YAML file, you can create. How do you work with the read? So kubectl get, and if you want to use one more command, kubectl describe. Okay, and here if you want to work with YAML file, so get -f and so on. So this is something you can describe also. You can use YAML file. That's not a problem. Here. Okay, now you want to update this. So how do we do that? So here using, you can do edit, and here update the file user, here file name, and here apply will work for you. Okay, so this edit will directly do the edit, but here you can update through the modify this file name and then apply. Simple, since this pattern. How do we delete that? So kubectl delete command, and you do want to do through YAML, so -f YAML. So this is the pattern. So I have 72 resources which you have seen it. You can start following this method. Are you able to understand, all of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can I
Sorry,
try
what is
now?
the acronym? Rajesh, what is the acronym for CRUD?
CRUD means create, read, update, and delete.
Okay. Read, update, and delete. Good.
Yeah. So here, now how do we do that? So let's start with what do you want. So I'll create a namespace, then I'll create a pod, then I'll create a replication controller, and then I'll show you the deployment. So these are the things, and after that service, and end with PVs and PVC. These are the storage. So here these are the compute, networking means load balancer, and storage. These are the things which I'll show you. So let's get started. So how do we create a namespace using command line? So to clear the screen, you see the pattern kubectl get ns. How many ns you have? These many ns you have. Now can I create ns? Create for dev team ns dev team, and See here, get ns. You got this here, dev. Can we create for myself? Here it is. So you create an ns. So I get this, I created. Can I edit this? So yes, let me edit. So edit ns rajesh ns and many things. Slowly you'll get comfortable what can be editable, what cannot be editable. Don't get into that right now, complicated understanding. Labels can be editable anytime. So it's YAML file. So this team, which is this one, Devops school team, Devops. So I'm added the one more label. Okay, so label is something like any resources you create, you can add as many labels you want. So here, edited. Can you want to describe this? Describe ns rajesh, and here enter. See that? And you want to delete this. Delete ns rajesh and deleted rajesh. So crud, this I nothing great I did. Using the command line, I just run crud for the creating namespace. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you the pod. This pod I'll teach you through the YAML file. So but where is the YAML file? So I'll come here, pod example, I'll search. Okay. And here you have YAML file. So all the example code you will find here. So many examples are there. Let's not complicate. This is your YAML file. So here, what you want pod. Okay, so pod you want of which version? V1. In fact, V1 is available. If you load, if you remember that, see here the API version V1 and pod which is a V1. It's available, supported by your. So that's the one. What is the name of the pod? So I'll just name it this one Rajesh. Okay, labeled with this one. The pod contains containers, right? Yes, containers. Only one container. Container comes from the image. This image I have created and pushed to the Devops hub.docker.com. Okay, so container name and all. That's all. So this is the pod specifications. And I copy inside this here kubectl get kubectl get pods. If I do the get pods, it's showing me the default namespace -n dev namespace. There's no space. There's no pods. So here get ns. You see that this dev namespace I created. So I want to create a pod in a dev. So what do we do? Vi pod dot yaml and paste it carefully. Save it, done. What to do? I think you know the pattern right now. Hyphen f hyphen f hyphen f everywhere. So here, how do we do that? So create kubectl, create what? Hyphen f pod.yaml. This I created in a default. If I want to create in a namespace dev, this I created in dev. Can I create one more in dev? No, because the name of the pod is unique to the namespace. Name of the pod is unique to the namespace. See here, default also I created, so it's already exist. So how many pods you created? Two actually. This is a default. This is the namespace dev. See here. You want to see the IP address of it, so hyphen o wide. If you want to see the labels of it, so show labels. Now many options are there to check, so I'm not complicating, but hyphen h you can get it up and run this show labels. So this pod is labeled with app hello world, which is this one you said somewhere here. Okay, so this is the way I created a pod and kubectl get pods. It is a default. Dev, can I edit this pod? Yes, you can edit this pod. How do you want to edit? So first let's describe this pod. So describe the pod What is the name of the pod, Rajesh? Where's the
Yes.
namespace? Dev. This is the one. Now, whether you understanding or not understanding, go through slowly each and every fields of this. Okay. So here, this is the IP address of the pod. Okay. This pod has a containers. If you see that here this is a container ID. Here the containers and lots of other specifications. Just get comfortable. These are the events, kubelet logs actually, event logs and all. So yeah, this is the way you can describe. Can I edit the pod? Yes, edit. What pod? Pod Rajesh. Where is its namespace dev? And this is the edit pod. What do I should do? Right now I can set stick to the labels. Team Devops code. I added one more labels to it, editing that and saving it. Done. And now you see that get so labels. See here. Now you want to edit through the file pod here uh, environment space QA. Save it, and then what you have to do? Kubectl apply hyphen f pod, which pod I edited, so dev, right? So hyphen n dev, enter, done. And you see that here you got added QA also. So this is the pattern. Now you are comfortable with the C command line or YAML, command line and YAML. And after that you want to delete. So let me delete from the defaults of kubectl. Kubectl delete what? Rajesh. Delete Rajesh. Delete pod. Which pod? Rajesh. From where? Default. So this is the one. If I delete from the namespace dev, this is the one. Clear. Now guys, this is the CRUD I did using YAML and so on. So are you comfortable, all of you? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
So now guys, this is the pod. Now you'll say, Rajesh, I want to troubleshoot the pod. That is also possible. So guys, let me show you some of the commands. And if you know the Docker, this session will help you a lot. So here, kubectl, and you see that how do we troubleshoot. So many commands are there, these commands. And if you remember that, I don't know whether you can, this one I showed you already. Auth not needed, debug also not needed for admins actually, proxy also not needed for ham here. So I'm talking about this command. So do you remember the logs command? Anyone from the Docker session? I mean, if you have practiced the Docker, then definitely you might have known this command. Logs. Do you remember attach command? Do you remember the exec command? Do you remember hyphen p option with the Docker? Do you remember the cp command? So yes, remember that these all commands you have available with the kubectl, but actually using this command you will work with the container and container. So I don't know. That's the reason I said, you have to practice. We covered the Docker 2 3 weeks before, so you should be practicing it seriously. Okay, so now how do we use this command? So describe. I have showed you the logs command will show you the logs of the container. How do I get it? Let me see that kubectl get pods. I don't have any pods right now, so in the default, let me create it. So create hyphen f of order. This is I'm working the dev default by the way. So mind it. So kubectl get pods. Here you have a pod. Now I want the IP address. Oh wide. And here this is IP address of the pod. Okay. So now this pod I want to see the logs. So kubectl logs of this pod Rajesh. Default. I'm working on the default, so I don't have to specify hyphen name. There's no logs actually because I've never accessed this container. So can I access this container? Curl HTTP dot IP address of the pod. I'm inside a cluster, so you can access any pod because all the pods is accessible in the cluster in any node cluster of that node, and you can access it. So this is the pod networking actually. So I'm able to access. So can I see the logs now? See.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.